Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have not a pick a card for you guys today, but a very unique and different type of reading that I plan on doing for you guys just as a collective. Before I launch into exactly what that is and exactly what that's going to be, I just want to ask you guys really quick to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell before you head on out of this video, because every time I upload a new video or every time I'm live, you will be notified of that happening as long as you click the notification bell when you subscribe. And also, feel free to leave me a comment down below too. All those things are good and definitely are helpful when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. And also, you guys, I am live Mondays and Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you do want to stop on by for a little reading and hang out with a fun group of people, that's what those nights are for. So I definitely invite you to stop on by for that. And private readings are open and available too. So if you're interested in a private reading, maybe you have several different questions you want to go over and talk about. Maybe you really want me to just like deep dive into something that maybe I wouldn't necessarily be able to do during a live. Or perhaps you just want to keep things confidential and you don't feel comfortable going on to a live to talk about your questions. That's fine too. That's what private readings are all about. So feel free to hit me up for a private reading too. So all the information that you need to know about live readings, private readings, ways to contact me, my Etsy shop, so on and so forth, all of that is in the description down below. Now, let me go ahead and launch into what today's reading is going to be all about. I've got the Crystal Unicorn Tarot deck sitting here that I'm going to start off with and shuffle it up, and we'll see what comes through. So today's reading, it is a divine feminine, divine masculine check-in between you and your person, but it's with a twist. It is geared for a very specific group. So most of the time I notice, on YouTube for, most readings when it comes to twin flames and divine feminines and divine masculines, in majority of the situations, it is not uncommon for the feminine, of course, to be female and for the masculine to be male. That's normally how it goes. But there is, of course, a smaller percentage, a smaller group out there where it's actually flip-flopped and it's reversed. And the feminine is actually the male counterpart and the masculine is the female counterpart. Now, these groupings I find are not as common and they're more rare, but they do happen. And especially if you are in like the reverse roles, gender-wise, it can actually be very confusing if you come onto YouTube and you're listening to general readings about, the feminine and the masculine. And, let's say you are the woman in the situation, but you know that you're really more so the masculine in terms of your role. It can be very confusing when someone's constantly giving you, tips and ideas on how to be more feminine and to lean back and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like every time you try to be more feminine, you actually wind up finding resistance against it. It doesn't make you feel good. Like you kind of lose your peace about it. It's like something that you're working too hard to try and accomplish. It's like trying to fit that round peg into a square hole kind of a thing. It doesn't come naturally. It should come naturally. If you truly are feminine, it should come naturally. Just like if you truly are masculine, it should come naturally, regardless of gender. So these things can be very, very confusing. So I do feel like there is a group out there that may be a little confused where, it's like, oh, I'm trying so hard to be feminine, but it's not working. And, my heart is in the right place, but it's just not working. Or you could be the man in the situation and you're like, I'm told I need to be masculine and I want to be masculine and I want to pursue and I want to protect and I want to provide, but it's not working. You know, it's not something I'm necessarily comfortable with. I'm more comfortable with receiving. You know, if you're a man and you're more comfortable with receiving and kind of being, I guess, a little bit more passive on it, you could be a feminine, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with either of these things being reversed. All of us have both traits and both qualities in us, both the feminine and the masculine. It just depends on what kind of outweighs the other. And I'm sure this isn't just a problem for people with different sexes. It could be a problem for people in same-sex situations too, where you have two women and one is the masculine and one is the feminine, or you have two men and one is the feminine and one is the masculine. It can just be very confusing if you're not like the typical cookie cutter mold that everyone usually refers to. So while this reading isn't necessarily specifically for the same-sex people, it's definitely for the ones who, like I said, are definitely flip-flopped, where if you feel like you are the masculine and you're a woman and your counterpart is a man and he is more feminine, then this is definitely going to be the reading for you. That's my intention going into this. I've never done one of these before, so I'm not really sure exactly how it's going to go and how it's going to turn out, if it's going to make any sense or not. You know, if it doesn't make any sense, if nobody can connect to it, then it'll probably just be a one-time thing. But who knows? If it does resonate for somebody out there, if it does make sense, if people are like, hey, that's me, I'm a part of that group, you know, I appreciate the fact that there's somebody out there who's done this kind of reading, then I may bring more of these to the table. I may do pick-a-cards with this. And that's why I'm not doing a pick-a-card with this one right now, because I just wanted to see how like a general overall thing would go when it comes to this type of reading. So that's kind of my intention. Now, if you're someone who is definitely like that cookie cutter, I'm the female and I'm feminine, he's the man and he's masculine, you're still invited to watch this reading. You might find something that may resonate for you here too. You know, I'm not closing it off for anyone. You know, basically anyone who resonates with it, you're welcome to watch it, to click with it, to, you know, all those other kind of things. But I'm just saying, initially right out the gate, my intention is for the role reversal people to kind of see where this is going, what's going on, what you need to know, all that other kind of stuff. So with that said, I am finally going to shuffle these cards up and we're going to see what's going on. So let's just get some overall energy here coming through, please. What is happening between the feminine man and the masculine woman in their divine counterpart twin flame situation, in this type of dynamic? What is happening right now in this type of pairing? What do they need to know? What is happening as of right now? Okay, so we have the Page of Swords. This is the first one that's coming out. Now, any kind of page that comes out, first and foremost, pages are not about action. Pages are usually more so about thinking. It's usually the steps that happen before an action is taken. And especially here in this case, because swords are of the thinking energy. It's that air kind of energy. It's our thoughts. So I feel like just in starting this off in this type of reading, it's probably saying, okay, we're thinking about this. We're thinking about this perspective. We're thinking about this position. Especially if maybe you're someone who never really considered that, like, oh, gee, I never really considered, you know, could I be in a flip-flopped type of dynamic? So I feel like this is kind of just like maybe looking at things in a different way, thinking about things in a different way. It could be you or your person. It's like, okay, let's think about this. Let's think about this concept of the fact that, you know, I may be the masculine and he may be the feminine kind of thing. It's just kind of like a new way of looking at things. Like, okay, let's entertain these possibilities. Let's entertain these ideas. So I feel like that kind of just almost expresses where we're at right now. Just in doing this reading, it's kind of like a new little adventure. Like, okay, all right, let's see what this is all about. So we got some thinking energy, just thinking about the situation, which is understandable. And we have the World. So the World to me represents, like, literally you can have the world at your disposal is what it comes down to. And the funny thing is, I feel like this card is basically saying it doesn't matter whether you're the man, whether you're the woman, whether you're the feminine, whether you're the masculine, whether you're same sex, different sex, it doesn't matter. Like, bottom line is, in a way, we are all one. In a way, we all contribute to this world. In a way, you know, we all bring something feminine and masculine to the table. So I almost feel like in some sense of the word, having the world pop out is almost like saying, it almost doesn't matter. Like, all these labels we put on things about feminine and masculine and gender and all this other kind of stuff, it screws with our heads sometimes more than we even realize. And sometimes we just have to go with the flow of what path is right for us. And, you know, who cares what you call it? Who cares the label that you put on it? Because we're all one. We're all part of this world is what it comes down to. So, you know, the feminine, the masculine, the man, the woman, the same-sex partners, it doesn't matter. We're all one. We're all part of this world. We all have something to bring to it. Sometimes we just get into this place where we overanalyze and overthink things, and which is funny because we got that thinking energy there with the Page of Swords. And it's okay to think about things, and it's okay to have a new perspective on things, but, you know, don't go there in an unhealthy way. And we have the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups, to me, is like that genie in a bottle card, basically. It's like the card that pretty much signifies that, you know, you can manifest your dreams coming true. You can make anything happen that you really want to have happen. It's just kind of a matter of, you know, rubbing your own lamp there, making a wish, and just believing that that's true, believing that you have that in that moment when you make that wish, when you put that out there. So it's definitely like a very confident energy. It's an energy full of love because obviously cups are love. It's one cup away from the 10 of Cups, which is ultimate fulfillment in love. So to me, I feel like this says, once again, it doesn't matter gender. It doesn't matter whether you're feminine or whether you're masculine. We all have the ability to do this. We all have the ability to be our own genie in a bottle, to you know, manifest the life of our dreams. Like, in some ways, you know, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the feminine and masculine parts in some ways just don't matter, because manifesting, you know, the way to go about that, the way to think about things, the way to look at things, you know, thinking with positivity and hope and faith and love, that applies no matter where you are at with the journey. It doesn't matter. So I feel like that's definitely one way to look at that. Let's see what else we have here. We have the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is someone who is full of passion and full of desire. Now, since we are doing like a little bit of a flip-flop here between the feminine and the masculine, the king would typically, in a sense, be the masculine role. So, if we're taking this as the masculine role and not the feminine role, then the female in this situation is probably the King of Wands. So, if you are the viewer right now and you're a female, but you feel like you're more so the masculine in your situation, you're probably the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is someone who's very fiery, he's passionate, he is magnetic, he's charismatic. People are just usually drawn to, in this case, her. They're usually drawn to her and just think she's amazing and she's awesome. So she's someone who's confident, basically. So I feel like deep down inside of you, you are confident in this. Like, if you're someone who, like I said, maybe you weigh a little bit more heavy on the masculine side rather than the feminine side, and you're a female, you need to own this. You need to own this, and you need to be confident in this. don't feel like you need to be pressured into being more feminine if that's truly against your nature, because the King of Wands, he is confident. So that means there is this confident person inside of you, and you shouldn't shy away from that. You should let that shine. And the people who are meant to stand by you, like, yeah, you may be so confident, you may have one of those strong personalities in a sense that maybe other people are intimidated by or they don't necessarily get. But that's okay, because the people who are truly meant to be there by your side, whether it's your love interest or friends or family or whoever, the people who are truly meant to be there, they're going to love this no matter what. So, don't freak out if, some people don't understand it. Like, that's okay then they're not your people. But I feel like in regards to your love situation, considering that's what we're asking about here specifically, I'm sure that your person probably really admires that about you. He may be a little intimidated, not to the point where he doesn't want to be in your life. But I do feel like, he appreciates that side of you. He probably appreciates that powerful side of you. And we have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is about being double-minded, in my opinion. That's the way I always read this card. So, once again, we're going back to swords. We're going back to that air energy. We're going back into thoughts. And, the two of anything can sometimes indicate like problems making decisions, like making choices on things, trying to decide between one thing and another. And especially with the Two of Swords here, with this double-minded type of energy, once again, I feel like, you, the person who is watching this right now, the viewer, you're probably very double-minded about this whole feminine, masculine role type of situation. So, it doesn't matter whether you're the feminine or the masculine. If you are flip-flopped in terms of that gender, if you're the masculine woman or the feminine man, there may be this battle inside of your head when it comes to that. And you may feel double-minded, feeling like I naturally feel good as a man being more feminine and being more receptive. Or I naturally feel good as a woman being masculine and being that provider and protector. But societally wise and with the way the collective is as a whole, I feel this pressure that I need to align with my femininity as a female, or my masculinity as a male, that I need to align with what my gender says I should be. So I feel like there's definitely this war going on inside of you, and there's a lot of overthinking and a lot of overanalyzing around this when, once again, I feel like that shouldn't be happening. Because if you're doing that constantly, if you're constantly back and forth in your head about it, you're going to confuse yourself. And the more confused you are within, it's not going to get you anywhere in terms of progress with this connection and this relationship, because you won't be stepping into who you are fully. And the truth is, once again, like I said here at the start here with the world, you kind of just need to go with the flow and embrace that part of you, because it's all connected is what it comes down to. Like, there's a reason that these types of things happen. So yeah. Anyway, let me get some more cards here, see what else we got on the subject. We also have the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups can be about illusions. It can be about confusion and making choices as well, which I feel like once again plays along here in the theme. So once again, if you are a person who is in this role reversal situation where you are the feminine who's a man or the masculine who is a woman, I feel like because there is this stereotype that is implied where if you're a woman, you naturally need to be the feminine. If you're a man, you naturally need to be the masculine. And if that goes against everything inside of you that is your nature, That's where illusions start coming in, because then you feel like I said at the very beginning of this video, before I even started pulling cards, it's like you start trying to cram your round self into that square peg, and it doesn't work. And that's illusions. And then you wind up being confused in terms of the choices, in terms of the decisions that you need to make in your life. Because, you know, it's like everybody around you could be, you know, screaming at you, lean back, be receptive. And it's like you're sitting there squinting or something, and have your fists clenched, and you're like, I'm leaning back. And you're like, this is not working. Like, it feels so unnatural to me. So you could be kind of like feeling like that. But like I said, I feel like if you're truly meant to be a feminine, those things are going to come naturally to you. Like once you start doing it, it's going to be kind of like a sigh of relief. Like, oh, this actually feels right. This feels good, you know, like it's not a big deal. But if you're still trying and you're still forcing yourself, like that's an illusion. That's something that you need to do what comes naturally for you, is what it comes down to. Not what everybody else says you need to be doing. Not what the dating coach gurus say you need to be doing. Not what every single reader says you need to be doing. You know, hell, if my message here isn't resonating, that's fine. Don't take it then. This is meant for who it is supposed to resonate for. It's not going to resonate for everybody, and that's okay. But yeah, so like anything that is causing you to lose your peace and you're getting frustration from it, that's where these illusions come in. And then we have trouble making choices that are actually right for us. So this kind of stuff needs to go. And I feel like it's an extension out of being double-minded, where you're just like, all right, I'm going to try and, you know, be this masculine dude, even though I would feel much better just kind of sitting back and receiving from a woman coming to me, kind of a thing. So yeah, there's so much confusion about all this kind of stuff. I feel like for both genders, and, you know, for both feminine and masculine sides, regardless, it's like there's so many expectations on how you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, how it's supposed to look like. And truthfully, I don't think it really matters one side or the other, what it is you do. I feel like you got to find what works the best for you, and chances are that may not always be what everybody else is doing. And understandably, that makes it harder sometimes, because naturally we want to kind of go with the crowd. But if we're going to do something great in our lives, even if it comes down to love, sometimes we got to go our own path. Sometimes all the other fish are swimming downstream, and we got to swim upstream. And it can be weird and awkward and uncomfortable, but sometimes we got to do it because it's the right thing for us. And we have the moon. So the moon is about mystery. The moon also represents the feminine. So this could be confirmation that there could be some men that are watching this that could be confirming like, hey, yeah, you know, like maybe I am, you know, the feminine in this situation. And that's okay. You know, it takes a lot of confidence and it takes a lot of strength as a man to own your femininity and say, yeah, you know, like I am the feminine. Especially if you are dealing with a woman who is the masculine, she's going to find that very sexy and very appealing if you're able to step into that role completely, rather than trying to be like this macho man that you really aren't. So it's okay to step into that completely. It can be a total turn on, so there's nothing wrong with that. So it could be verifying that, number one. And like I said, the moon is also about mysteries. It is about things that have not been revealed yet. It's about things that are yet to be found out, yet to be discovered. So I feel like this process, especially when it comes down to feminine and masculine energy in terms of gender and everything, this is a process. It's a process of unveiling this. It's a process of revealing this. So even after this reading, you may not necessarily have it all figured out, like, oh yeah, I'm definitely the feminine, I'm definitely the masculine. You may not completely know. You may have a few answers, a little bit of insight, and that's okay, but I feel like more is yet to come, that there's still so much more to discover. And I feel like the only way we discover that is really by getting to know ourselves better. And sometimes we get to know ourselves better through readings. Sometimes we get to know ourselves better through other situations too. It can be through prayer. It can be through meditation. It can be through conversations that we have with others. It can be through a lot of different things. But regardless, I feel like there are things that you still have yet to discover about yourself, things that still are in the process of unfolding. And we have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is about conflict. And I feel like, once again, regardless whether you are on the feminine male aspect or masculine female aspect, I feel like the fact that you are probably a flip-flopped person in this department, I feel like it brings a lot of conflict and turmoil to you. Because you probably want to fit in, like I said, you probably want to fit in with the majority. If you're a woman and you're more masculine, you probably want to be the feminine in the situation. You're like, but my heart's in the right place. I want to be able to lean back. I want to be able to receive. I want to be able to be just like everybody else. If you're the man and you're just like, I want to be able to go out there and pursue and provide and protect and all these other things, but it just doesn't come to me naturally. I am more of a receiver kind of person. That can be very conflicting internally on the inside for yourself. It can cause confusion. It can be conflicting because it goes against the norm of what is considered normal in terms of society and nature and all this other kind of stuff. So I feel like there's a lot of internal conflict on both sides in regards to this. And I feel like that internal conflict, if you guys are separated from your person, I feel like that's part of the reason why you're separated, is because you're not accepting yourself. You're not accepting yourself fully. You're not accepting yourself fully of saying, yes, I am a woman and I'm the masculine in this situation. Or yes, I am the man and I am the feminine in this situation. If you're not fully accepting yourself, you can't possibly fully accept your counterpart. Because of that clash, basically. So I feel like part of the lesson here for both sides is to love and accept yourself completely. And, once again, like, let's say you're the woman in the situation and you are the masculine. Just because you're the masculine, that doesn't mean that you don't like to go out and go shopping or get your hair done or get your nails done. It doesn't mean that, you act all butch or anything like that. You can still love all the girly things and do all the girly things. There's nothing wrong with that. All of that stuff on the outside is just that outside stuff. Just like with a guy and being masculine, just because you're the feminine in the situation, that doesn't mean that you don't like video games or playing sports or any of the things that dudes usually do that are considered masculine activities. You can still own both of those things and be a feminine man and a masculine woman. It's not about what you do on the outside. It's not about the external package or your hobbies and interests. It's about how you view life and how you go about relationships and your thinking process, like how you internalize things, how you digest things, how you process things, how you take action or don't take action in things. That's more so what it's about. And because it's about those things, it's not as obvious to see as those external things that we usually think of when we think of being feminine or masculine. So, like I said, ladies, if you're the masculine and you like getting your nails done, then by all means, go and get some pink nails. Go be Elle Woods from Legally Blonde. Hell, Elle Woods was kind of masculine there herself. She was all feminine and pretty on the outside, but what did she do? She went to Harvard. She became a lawyer. She pursued. That is masculine as can be. So yeah, there you go. And I kind of feel like, the guy that she eventually went with, Emmett, not Warren because he was just a dick, but Emmett, you know, he was kind of more the feminine in this situation. I mean, yeah, he was still in law school and, you know, doing the lawyer thing and everything too, but I feel like he was definitely more of the passive one between the two of them. But if we're talking about, you know, who's more of the go-getter and who's more of the one to be a little bit laid back and settled, I think that, you know, it was definitely her who was in that position, who was more, I'm going to go get, I'm going to, you know, take life by the horns. And it was him who was more like, I'm going to just kind of step back, but I'm supporting her by doing that. So yeah, anyways, separate tangent. But hey, if it comes out of me and it flows, it flows. Hopefully it's making some kind of sense for everybody else. Pop culture references sometimes help me. So, anyways, let's see what else we got here for you guys. We have the Two of Wands. So we once again have another card here about decision, about choices. So this one is specifically with the Wands. Wands is once again that powerful, confident, passionate kind of energy. So this is about when you make a decision, you make a decision coming from a place of confidence. So I feel like you guys are being asked to, once again, step into who you truly and really are. Whether you are a feminine man or masculine woman, it's about stepping into that role completely, making the conscious choice to, and to make it with confidence. Not from a place of being double-minded, because this is a place of being wishy-washy and you're not going to really accomplish much of anything with that. You want to do it from this place instead, a place of confidence, a place of like, I'm making a decision and this is my final answer, and that is that. So try and make these decisions from confidence instead. Like I said, that takes embracing who you really are. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like if you guys do this, if you really embrace who you truly are, love and accept yourself, if you start making those decisions from a place of confidence, then you're going to have a fresh new beginning with this person. Because that's what the Ace of Pentacles is about. It's about a fresh new beginning, but it's a very grounded beginning. It's a very protected beginning. It's an authentic and real beginning. It's a beginning that happens within the physical world, you know? And once again, like if you're the or not the feminine, I'm so used to talking to the feminine half the times when I do these videos. I mean, I am talking to the feminine if you're a dude in this case, but if you're the masculine being a woman in this situation, this could be an indicator that maybe you're the one who's supposed to go to him. Maybe you're supposed to offer something to him and say, hey, like, do you want to go get some lunch or something? I'm not saying that as a woman you have to turn the tables around completely and like propose marriage to him or something. No, I believe a feminine man can still make those gestures when it comes to like those big things. But sometimes you gotta give him a little bit of a nudge in the right direction. And if nothing's really happening, sometimes you gotta step up and be the one to make contact and reach out, shoot him a text, shoot him a phone call. It doesn't have to be anything major. I do feel like if you're the masculine female in this situation, and if he's truly your feminine man, he will receive what you are offering, and he will probably counter back with an offering in return. That's what I usually see in these kinds of situations. So I feel like if you're the woman in this situation, it may be time to offer him something. It doesn't have to be anything major. Like I said, you could invite him out to coffee or something. It's not a big deal, you know. But I feel like, you know, there is this genuine, real, authentic offer that should be made in the physical. And it's promising. It's good. It's a good thing. It's a fresh new beginning. It's a good new beginning. Let me see. So that's kind of what I got from the tarot cards for you guys. I didn't know if I was going to pull from any other decks or not, simply because I didn't know exactly where this was going to go. We're like 34 minutes in right now. I don't want to make this too crazy long because it's not a pick a card reading or anything, but I am going to pick a couple cards from the Psychic Tarot of the Heart Oracle deck just to kind of follow up on what's already come out here to see if there's anything else we need to know before we wrap things up. just because this is a little bit more of a unique reading. If you are in like one of those role reversal situations where you are the masculine and you're female, or you are the feminine and you're male, and if any of this resonates for you and makes sense and you would like me to dive in deeper on this, let me know. I could do like a pick a card in regards to this kind of situation specifically, or I could just, you know, come back on here and do more general readings like this, kind of checking in on that. So let me know either way if any of this is something that you guys would be interested in, because I'm definitely willing to elaborate more on it if need be. Let's see, we have strengthening bonds. So I feel like this card basically is saying that regardless, feminine, masculine, male, female, doesn't matter. The bottom line is your counterpart is your counterpart. Your person is your person. And those bonds are always going to be strong, and those bonds are always going to be good no matter what you do. You cannot like sever an eternal bond. You cannot sever something that is, you know, meant to be, that is true and genuine and real. So no matter what you do, those bonds are always going to be there. Let's see what else we have. We also have listen. So I feel like this is basically listen to your own intuition, like listen to yourself. This isn't necessarily about listen to all readings or listen to other people. I feel like it's more so about listen to yourself. Go within, listen to your own gut instinct, because at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't matter what I say, it doesn't matter what any other reader says, it doesn't matter what the cards are saying. At the end of the day, you know what is right for you. So if you know that you know that you know that you are the masculine and you're a female, or you're a feminine and you're the male, listen to that. Even if it's the opposite, and let's say you are the feminine woman or you're the masculine man, listen to that. Bottom line is listen to who you really are. Listen to yourself about anything dealing with yourself, even if it's not about feminine, masculine, this, that, and the other thing stuff. It could be about anything in life, but trust yourself. Listen to yourself. And sometimes that can be hard because the world can be very loud and boisterous and, you know, just like blaring and giving us all kinds of messages constantly. So we have to quiet ourselves down first before we can even listen, which can be really, really hard. But it can be done. So I would recommend definitely doing that. Quiet yourself down a little bit. And we have the Sacral Chakra, which is funny because the Sacral Chakra is about the reproductive system, basically. And it's funny because, you know, it's like, yeah, you may be a woman, you may have a vagina and a uterus, you may be a man, you may have a penis, and I know biologically, you know, the sperm does go after the egg, obviously. But I feel like, you know, our biology doesn't necessarily match up with who we are as our essence is what it comes down to. So, but I feel like that there is a way that these things can work together, if that makes any kind of sense at all. But I do feel like there is a way that those things can definitely work together. And we have embrace. So embrace who you truly are. Once again, whether you're the feminine man or the masculine woman, or even if you're right side up, feminine woman, masculine man, just embrace who you are, because like I said, you can't really achieve union with your person, and you can't achieve anything really if you don't have union with yourself. So embracing who you are, having union with yourself, that's where it all starts. So have union with yourself first and foremost. And that will bring you union with your person, and the way you have union with yourself is embracing who you are. And that doesn't just help you have union with yourself and with your person, but it's going to help you have peace and productivity and union in other areas of your life too, whether it's in your friendships or in your family relationships or your career or other places. So embrace yourself as a whole with everything. It makes a huge difference. I'm going to pull one last one from here, and then I think we're going to wrap it up in a little bit, because I feel like we have definitely done a nice little deep dive here on the topic. Final card, third eye chakra, final eye. So anyways, your third eye chakra, is basically your eye to the unseen is what it comes down to. It's kind of like listening to that intuition once again. So trust what it is that you see. Trust what it is that you are seeing from within, because it makes more sense than you realize. So trust that, which once again goes back to listening to yourself. Okay, so hopefully this message resonated, made sense, and helped some of you guys out, especially if you are in one of those like gender flip-flopped feminine masculine situations. Like I said, if this was helpful for you guys, please let me know, because I honestly have no idea if this kind of reading is going to make sense or help anybody whatsoever. But if it does, let me know. If you want me to do more readings kind of catering to the flip-flop, I will be more than willing to do that. I can do that with more of just general readings like this, or pick a cards. It's totally up to you guys. So yeah. Finally, you guys, before I wrap things up completely, it doesn't matter what kind of reading it is I'm doing, I always wrap things up with your Loving Words from Jesus card, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away. And you guys got, be not afraid, only believe. Mark 5:36, which is absolutely beautiful. So you guys have nothing to fear. You have nothing to be afraid of. Sometimes it can be really scary, especially if we are trying to embrace who we really are. It can be terrifying at times, but you have nothing to be scared of. God's got you. He's got this. He designed you exactly how he designed you for a reason. So believe in that. Trust in that. You will probably see more magical things grow and happen and develop in your life if you are coming from a place of belief and faith rather than a place of fear. So definitely that's a good message to take into. Anyways, you guys, that's what I have going on for you guys today. Like I said at the beginning of the video, please give this one a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot. And leave me a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. And so you guys also know whenever I go live, because I go live every Monday and Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Readings are open and available too for private readings. So like I said, you guys, if you're interested in private readings, live readings, ways to contact me, my Etsy shop, anything and everything you need to know is in the description down below. So feel free to hit that up as well. Otherwise, that's basically what I have going on for you guys today. So with that said, I want to thank you so much for stopping on by and hanging out here with me for a little bit today. It definitely warms my heart and means the world to me. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love.